Hello, and welcome to the fourth video on probability for grade 12 essential math. In this video, we're going to take a brief look at odds and how it relates to probability. Now, odds is a different way to write probability. In the real world, you'll probably only encounter odds when someone says there's a 50-50 chance of something happening. That's about it. When you see odds based on sports betting or something like that, that's a little bit different thing than we're looking at today. When we're looking at odds here, we're going to take a look at this. Odds, as I said, is a different way to write probability. Now we have two different options here. I can write odds in favor or the odds of something happening. This is commonly written as just odds of something. And in this case, what I have is I have the things that I want, and then a colon, and then the things that I don't want. Now, odds against, again, is the same thing, just backwards. Not want, colon, want. As a comparison with probability, I need to say the things that I want divided by the total. So the total is important here. In probability, I have a total. In odds, I do not. This compares things that I want to not want. Now, there's one thing that's important here. When I'm looking at odds and probability, the total versus the not want versus the want is an important relationship. So let's take a look at a dice, because this is a nice, easy example. If I have the probability of rolling a 5 or a 6, the probability of that is easy. We've done that before. There are 2 sides out of a possible 6 sides here. That's the probability of that. If I'm writing this in words, this is a 5 or a 6 over total sides. When I'm writing odds, I need to think of this a little bit differently. For odds in favor, I need to say, what do I want? Well, how many 5s or 6s are there? And I'm not looking for total anymore. I'm saying how many are not 5 or 6. So this becomes a little more straightforward if I write this out in words. I can say there are 2 sides that are 5 or 6. There are 4 sides that are not 5 or 6. Writing that out in words is really important, and I would strongly encourage you to write it out in words when you do one of these questions. The odds against, we're going to do this backwards. All I'm going to do is say not 5 or 6. And then this is 5 or 6. And you may notice the numbers just flip around. So this is 4 to 2. But write it out in words each time. You may also notice this here, both sides of the odds need to add up to the total. That's an important here. Both sides add to total. So our add to the total a little better. This is important for both odds and odds in favor and odds against. These need to add up to the total on the bottom of my probability. That's really important. Now, odds is a little bit weird because odds is consistently the worst done question on the exam, even though it seems really easy. I think writing it down and making sure you're writing it in words first is a really good step to take. Make sure that you're not getting caught in these little tricky things, even though they're really straightforward. Let's take a look at an example. So here we go. First example here. The probability of rain tomorrow is 30%. Cool. It might be, it might not be. This is just a question. Express this as odds against. I need to write this out in words first. So the probability of rain is going to be rain divided by total. All right. What's the chance of it raining? Well, that's 30 divided by, this is a percent, so I know my total is 100, 30 out of 100. Great. I've written that in words. That's a good start. I need odds against. I'm going to write this out in words. Odds against means the not comes first. So this is not rain, colon, rain. Great. Writing it out in words. Well, I know that my chance of rain is 30 here. I'm going to fill that in right away. Now, I know my total is 100. This and this must add up to 100. So I know that there are 70 chances of not rain. So in other words, the odds against it raining tomorrow are 70 to 30. This is our odds against here. Please note, don't write odds as a fraction, write it as a ratio with the colon here. Likewise, write probability as a fraction, don't write probability as a ratio like that. All right, here's another example. The odds of rolling a critical fail are 1 to 19. What is the probability of not failing? This is important. Let's take a look at this. Write it out in words. All right, the odds of rolling, so I've got 1 to 19. Those are my odds. The odds of rolling critical fail. So this is odds in favor. So this is going to be fail and not fail. Great. Failing to not failing. Notice it says, what is the probability of not failing? Probability needs to be over the total. So the total, but it says the probability of not failing. Well, if I look at my odds here, I see that the 19 here is not fail. So I can go 19 over, well, my total is, I just add these up, 19 over 20. So my chance of not failing is 19 over 20 as a probability. This has been a look at odds. Again, I cannot recommend strongly enough. It is important to write these out in words before you try it with the numbers, because the words show you how to explain this. A lot of times people get caught because this seems too simple. There's no particular difficult math here. The most difficult thing I did in this last question was 19 plus 1. You've been doing that for 12 years now. 19 plus 1 is 20. The trick is making sure that you know what you're adding together and where to write them. And writing it out in words can really help that. So I hope that you have a great day. This has been a look at odds, and I'll see you next time.